Hey YouTube, Miss Venomous Cupcake here. isnoopyluv asked me for like some cheaper recommendations and stuff like that for what I use to color. I can't necessarily say I use any of these products like right now, because right now I use Prismacolors. Like, I have all my little stubbies in here because right now I'm just like working on this picture of Joe in Prismacolors. So yeah, I have a bunch of them. And I use color markers. So like I don't know what to tell you there. I also use like watercolors and stuff. But for cheaper recommendations, like the stuff, like I've started out with this stuff. I'm not rich either, you know. Even as a kid, like a lot of this stuff wasn't like made available to me, you know. So you just work with what you got. So here's Crayola color pencils. You can use them or Cra-Z. Like, I worked with Cra-Z when I couldn't afford all the Prismacolors, and it's a pretty good brand. You know, I definitely recommend it. It's got a lot of colors, like 10 times more colors than what the Crayola color pencil has. I also use crayons. Here's an example of a crayon drawing that I did, and it's like Queen Chrysalis, but you know. And for markers, for the cheap version, I will use Sharpies. You can also use them as fine liners, or Prismacolor. You know, if you want to go cheap, but still pretty kind of like pricey and stuff. Okay. And this was done, most of it was done in Sharpies. This was like Crayola color pencils, because the Sharpies didn't really have a skin tone that I enjoyed. Basically, the skin tone turned out to be like really orange looking. I'm sorry, I don't really feel well today. It was like really orange looking, but it still blended pretty well. And if you just work with your markers, you can kind of have like a smooth blending. I did not finish this one. It's my OC Briny. He's a fish man, like an angler fish man. So I've prepared like a little chibi drawing of my OC Cassie, and I'm just going to kind of color pieces and talk about what I'm doing, so that I don't get questions as to like, how do you do the coloring with the Sharpies? I can't do this or something. You know, you can, but I suppose it helps to have a demonstration. First step, you're going to want to choose, you know, at least 3 variations of color. For my coloring, I like to add little things. Let me go with her then. I like to add like different colors. This isn't a Sharpie, but yeah, it's a marker. It works. I like to add some different colors for depth. She has a little bit of blue at the tip of her hair, because her favorite color is blue. So I'm going to start off with the darkest color and just kind of brush it in. When you're working with hair, you just kind of follow the movement of the hair. It's kind of like handling a Copic. If you have some Copics and you just want to practice with the markers, because you don't want to waste your Copics, you can definitely go with Sharpies. Though sometimes you will have to handle your Sharpies differently, because they don't seem to stay as wet longer. So I'm going to take the next to the darkest color and kind of run it over the dark color, and this is going to blend it out, unless you want to keep the purple in. little areas so you can add your lightest color. And you just take your next tone, add a little bit here, and it will blend out. Now what I did here is I left white in it. So you just leave like a little bit of white. Because Sharpies tend to be darker and they don't seem to lighten up. So there you have it. If you see little areas like that. I like to keep about a line away from the line work, just in case the marker decides it wants to bleed on me. But even if it does, you can just go over the piece with your fine lighter and it'll cover it, so it's okay. I'm going to color her eyes. And she has like really just like really icy blue eyes. So here is the second tone. And you can see where it's blending. Kind of have to work like fast, like you would with Copic markers, because you don't want it to dry on you and then it will just look really weird blending. And I actually have like, it's really weird, I have one of those like erase, like wet erase markers that I use for red because I can't seem to find a red anywhere. But it's okay because it works just fine. Cassie has like really red lips because for some reason like I like to use the colors like blue and red together. I'm not exactly sure why. Now for your black hair, you're going to actually want to use the black and let's see if you can see. Okay. As I said, like run it in the direction of the hair. This is kind of dull. That'd be fun. Okay. Just run it in the direction of the hair. Now the last thing that I usually do, because where I use just markers first and then I will like Crayola pencil the skin. Crayola is like wax and you don't want to get it in any of your markers. It is very important to take care of any art supplies no matter how cheap they are, because there's always someone in the world who would love to have that supply that you have. And if you're not taking care of it, well, you're just you're being a jerk. So just kind of leave little areas. I don't normally like to use a lot of black because it personally doesn't really fit the way I color. I think it makes things look flat, but this way you'll take care of the flatness if you use my method. Just kind of bring in the black, make it look like hair. I saw an artist on YouTube and she was using these Crayola markers, the washable ones. I have such a problem with Crayola washable markers. When I got some, it literally ate through the paper and I was coloring the same character. And it ate through the paper And I cried so much. It was so bad because the drawing had turned out so well. And I'm just using like regular sketchbook paper from like the green Canson sketchbook. Okay. Now you add your next color, which is like some kind of blue, black color. I don't even know what to call it at this point. Start where the tip is. You can go over the black if you want. Like, my hair is probably the thing everybody loves about my drawings. I kind of just like to use it as like a way to have an interesting composition, so to speak, without killing myself over like, is this building right? Is this right? You know, I need to put a background in it. Because sometimes you want to draw to get the stress out, I guess. And as a child, I had been placed in foster care, and that was the reason that I had picked up drawing, because I was just really anxious all the time. I felt like I was not good at anything. And I picked up drawing because I used to watch a lot of those like drawing shows like Pappy Land and all that. And I was just like, man, those people are so calm. They either have really good lives or this drawing business is pretty cool. So I picked up drawing and it was pretty cool. And add your next color, gray. I like to place it like right the edge and really blend out everything. I can also add some purple, because I love purple. And it also like gives things a little more depth. And because this is upside down, I will flip it at the end of this video so that you can see it. I really don't have the patience to deal with Windows Movie Maker, where I upload things with my Kindle. It takes forever. They sit there and like, oh, we need to process this, we need to do that, and then I have to wait on the movie to save. And honestly, today I feel really lazy because I'm just not feeling well. So, like, today's just going to be my not do anything too straining day. So, yeah. Right now I'm like putting bags under her eyes because she doesn't really sleep that much. So The reason why she's like in a gown thing is because the end of her story really takes place at the prom. It's a really crazy setting that I don't want to mention. Probably talk about it later if you guys are really interested in it. Yeah, I've been, like, this is one of my comic characters, like, the main protagonist, so she's also kind of the antagonist, so it's really interesting. I always like those stories where you're sitting down and you're rooting for the villain to win, even though you know they're the villains. If you've ever seen Invader Zim, that's like the story that I pretty much told you about. And I don't know if I should do her skin. Do I have time? I think I can. The colors here. It's peach, lemon, pink. Maybe I'll add the low lights and some purple. And it's really neat because if you use like regular paper with this, the pencils will actually go over the marker and lighten it. So just kind of add where you want it. I actually really like her in purple now, so I might do something with that. You see some casual mistakes, you just fix them. And you can see where it's kind of like making this like lighter. You could add more value if you wanted, but I really don't have the time to do all that right now. I'm trying to go fast enough so I don't have to edit 2 videos together. And still make something pretty. That's what I like to do. Pretty. It's also about like knowing what you're using. Say if you wanted to like blend out a background, Sharpies are alcohol based, so you could just get some alcohol and make some really cool backgrounds with it. I just don't have time to do it right now. So I'm also very hungry and it's almost dinner time. I mean, I always say with people, oh, take your time, but I'm rushed right now, I'm sorry. It's a tiny picture, and I want to do such things with it, but I can't. Normally for her, I like to use like a pale yellow in Cra-Z or cream in Prismacolor, because she's like a sickly beige, though. I guess she just got a tan for prom or something. Then you just shiny desu it up with some, yeah. I also like to take note that eyes aren't like really white, so I guess I'm just gonna do the normally thing that I usually do and just color over it and give her a little tear duct and stuff, because it's pretty much the basis with my eyes. Hair and eyes seem to be like the one thing that I focus most on, and recently it's been lips. And just roll off the wax, and there you go. That's pretty much how you use cheap stuff to make your artwork. So I hope you guys have a good day. I hope this has helped you, even though it's like really quick and I could probably do something a little better given more time. But I hope you enjoy. Thank you for watching this video. I hope, as I said, I hope it was really helpful. Goodbye.